Well, today we heard from Alex Murdaugh. He gave a public statement for the first time at his bond hearing, but it was actually his lawyers who say Murdaugh finally confessed to something pretty big. He apologized for stealing $4.3 million from his late housekeeper's sons. Ryan Emerson listened in on that virtual bond hearing today. And what else did Murdaugh talk about?
Well, Tessa, today Alex Murdaugh spoke for several minutes about his humiliation and grief. In particular, what he called his botched suicide attempt. He said, I quote, "I quickly realized that I made a terrible mistake, that I needed to be there for my son." He's speaking of his son, Buster. He said he's been clean for 98 days, exercising several hours every day, and wants to repair his relationships. In addition, he told the judge that his longtime friends and lawyers, Chris Wilson and Corey Fleming, had nothing to do with his alleged money schemes. His law school buddy Wilson is named as one of the victims in the latest round of indictments. And Fleming was the attorney Murdaugh suggested the Satterfield sons use when he allegedly stole their mother's insurance settlement. Murdaugh also recommended Fleming to Connor Cook. He was a passenger in that 2019 fatal boat crash in which his late son Paul was driving drunk. Today, the judge set Murdaugh's bail at a whopping $7 million.
I think it means he's going to remain in jail indefinitely until and unless he can find someone to put up $7 million for him. And I don't believe, based on what I know about him, that he has that kind of financial wherewithal. So, the setting of the bond is in the discretion of the court. Judge Lee would know more than anyone else in attendance at that hearing about all the evidence the state has gathered. She would be privy to what was presented to the grand jury. It's in her discretion.
Well, Murdaugh's lawyers say he is broke, and right now Murdaugh's money and assets are frozen. His money is being thoroughly investigated by state-appointed money managers. State prosecutors say that since 2015, Murdaugh has stolen $6.1 million from clients, but we still don't know where all that money went.
With the Charleston County School District proposal that's now on pause, a plan dubbed Reimagine Schools is meant to help specific struggling schools. The back and forth discussion went on for hours this afternoon. Our Tara Jabor reports on the specifics, who came up with the plan, and why board members ultimately decided to wait.
The Charleston County School Board listened to a presentation by the Coastal Community Foundation called Reimagine Schools, but they decided to wait until January 10 to vote on this proposal. The proposal is to improve certain schools in areas like North Charleston, downtown Charleston, Hollywood, Ravenel, and Johns Island. The nonprofit wants to form 3 district innovation commissions made up of board members, administrators, parents, and most importantly, community members to make a plan to better schools.
Turn outward to the community, listen to the community, apply what we learn in terms of strategy development, and then commit to something we call equity-centered leadership.
The plan would be created over 2 years, then implemented over the following 8 years. The goal is to close the achievement gap seen in these targeted schools who are placed on the state's comprehensive support and improvement list, but it comes at a price tag.
Make a commitment of approximately $32 million to support 15 to 16 schools that in some way or another have underperformed relative to student academics.
Some members of the school board say the plan is something the district can do on its own.
Everything that I read in here is work that that our staff have a capacity to do. And while we are not doing it and not doing it well, we could be.
While others say it could make a difference.
Our money to help fund schools that because of the funding formula just are so underfunded because they're under-enrolled.
Parents were also torn on the issue.
There's opportunity for them to do things differently, and they need to do that. It's enough talking, enough thinking. They've been doing this for a long time, and it's time to start doing. Our kids can't wait any longer.
Friday was the first time anyone has heard about this proposal. No ad hoc committee, no public notice, and reading through this incomplete proposal has raised many questions.
Well, over the last 2 decades, a Lowcountry tradition has grown into a business. You've likely seen baskets and the women who make them selling them throughout the area. Well, now their sales are going global. They went from selling Gullah sweetgrass baskets in their front yards to marketplaces to now the online retail company Etsy. Spending time with them, though, we also learned their craft was bringing in revenue long before this new deal was sealed.
Please stop.
Andrea Annie Cayetano Jefferson does not embrace everything about the South.
Girl, I had to box that bee off me the other day.
Her Gullah Geechee heritage that includes weaving baskets is a major exception. The American craft dates back to the 1700s and is rooted in West African culture.
It's made by me, my mom, my daughter, Miss Vera, or my mother-in-law.
Annie is a part of a new partnership between 16 Lowcountry basket weavers and the online retail company Etsy. The deal will broaden their customer base. Daughter Chelsea Cayetano explains it'll also double the 2-day process of making these one-of-a-kind baskets.
So first, you have to find the place that you need to go to pick out whatever material you're looking for.
So this is the end of this harvesting season.
We went along with them to Kiowa Island by hand.
Gotta put your back into it.
They pick palmetto tree branches, bulrush, pine needles, and sweetgrass, and up to 6-hour process.
We love it. It's for the culture. We have to keep it alive.
So at the tip of all of this sweetgrass is this beautiful purple pinkish color. You'd think that they pull this and weave it in some of the baskets, but actually these are seeds. And Annie tells me that they're gonna pull it and take these seeds home so that she could plant them on her own property, and moving forward, she can have her own sweetgrass to own. Chelsea, emotional as she talks about the years of work.
Just because of, I know like the work that goes into it, and I've heard what people say about it and how now I'm accepted for what I do, but my mom and my grandma weren't.
This craft has passed down 6 generations in this family. Annie's grandmother came from Laura Hill Plantation. Her grandfather, Boone Hall Plantation.
She had a 3rd grade education. She could barely read or write, but she made some beautiful baskets.
This skill has always been their livelihood, and it pays well. The highest priced basket here today, going for $12,000.
Is it safe to say, though, this business has actually got you rolling in dough?
I do okay. You don't go in the Louis Vuitton store and ask them for a discount, so don't come. Mine is handmade. You know who made this. Do you know who made that bag?
Now the younger generation of Gullah basket makers is taking the lead with a twist.
I learned how to weave baskets under this tree.
31-year-old Renisha Wolf and her family have used her website and social media pages to sell and ship baskets to Canada, Sweden, and Guyana.
Make my sweetgrass more so from being a hustle to a business. And I feel like the internet connects me with a lot of people in ways that me sitting outside in the market just wouldn't be able to do for me.
Wolf says Etsy will elevate her business even more.
They advertised me in a whole new light. The photo shoots were very clean. It was just a new look.
A challenge both families face right now is the development happening in Charleston.
I have noticed some of the fields that we used to go to. There are houses there now.
Annie hopes by learning to grow seeds on her own property, her family can continue to create art that holds on to their South Carolina and ancestral tradition.
It's art. We put blood, sweat, and tears into this.